What's going on, folks?
Yes.
This is the No Holding Thoughts podcast. I'm Ra.
It's Bra.
And we're here for another episode.
Great one.
The other day, somebody hit me up who wanted to talk about a certain topic, and it got me to watch a certain show on Netflix called When They See Us. It's a miniseries.
Yep.
As soon as they told me to watch it, I went home and I watched it straight through. I hit Bri up and was like, "Yo, somebody want us to talk about a certain topic. Go ahead and check out this miniseries." As you said, you were already going to watch it anyway,
right?
But that kind of prompted you to immediately go to it and watch it. And we just here to give a little feedback on what we saw, some of the things we're going to talk about, and then the person who wanted us to speak on it, they're going to call in a second, and then we're all going to just give our thoughts on the whole thing.
Right.
But before we even get into that, I just want to speak on the fact that things like this that we saw in that miniseries, as you said, it happens all the time. And it's a shame that it does happen all the time, but certain things that happen in this particular case I want to bring up. And one of them is the fact that the adults fail the children severely on so many accounts. And when I say the adults, I mean all the adults.
Well, not all of them.
All the adults.
Yusuf mom didn't.
No. I don't mean like that. I mean the ones that were in power. The ones that could have really did something. They all failed them. Every single one of them.
And it was they all failed because they all thought about the life after. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, well, you probably did do it because you're a bad kid. It was more so like,
we gotta find somebody to pin this on.
Right.
That's what it was.
The two dads.
And that was the number one thing. Antron's dad. I mean, I don't know the man.
Antron's dad.
Antron's dad broke before Antron did. That's the sad part of it. Antron was willing to stand up as a 14-year-old, but as a man. And say, I didn't do these things. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not accepting it.
I'm not accepting this loss. I didn't lose. I didn't do this. I'm not accepting
That's
that.
exactly what he said.
And that's how it should be.
Right.
And his dad was like, no, just.
He said it's gonna mess up our life. This police ain't paying. They not playing.
Yeah. The problem was when they brought up something prior in his past when they pretty much threatened his job. Like, yeah, your job know about your past convictions.
Well, when it comes to your kids,
he changed his mind.
It shouldn't be nothing
there's no job that I'm going to sacrifice.
Right, you just get another one.
There's no job.
You talking about his kid was going to jail for something that he didn't do.
For something he didn't do.
Come on, man. There's no way that I'm letting my kid just sit there and roll over to that, man.
I'll work at McDonald's.
Right.
I'll work at McDonald's.
I won't work nowhere.
I'll work at Burger King.
Right.
And then I'll take the night shift somewhere else before I let my child go to jail for something. And then not even something.
And he knew that he didn't do it.
He didn't do it.
He knew that he didn't do it.
The worst part about it is something so heinous as that. That's not a label I want on any kid.
Right. Your life is
a sex offender?
Sex offender.
No.
It's not like when you're a kid you break a window or something, man.
Yeah.
They was being brought up on some serious charges. They talking about attempted murder. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Shh, listen. Nah. But in the same sense, back in those days, black people just didn't know that they had a chance. They didn't want to go up against. It was like they was shivering before it even. They never wanted to get in that fight.
Yeah,
they never wanted to get in that fight. They was just like,
they didn't want to get into that fight.
They was just like, let me make my little 15, 20, 50, whatever dollars an hour. Come home, take my family out. Don't do nothing too much. And that's exactly how they was thinking.
And it shouldn't be like that because adults' job are the children are the future. There's with this the foundation of everything. The future is brought upon good children being brought up, and there were good children in that situation being brought up, and they were chopped down before they had a chance.
To go back to think about it, they all was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know too much about Ray because Ray was like a ladies' man type.
Yeah.
But all of them, everybody else like had like a promising future from my recollection. Like
they all had promising.
One was playing an instrument. Like, like come on, you don't get too many people. You know,
I believe that was Kevin Richardson. What he played, the trumpet or something?
He played the trumpet, and the other one was just. I mean, it said itself. He was 15. He was 15, and he was like they skipped him up 2 grades or something like that.
Yeah, that was Yusuf Salaam, and because and another sad part of it, they were on such a wild witch hunt that they just took whoever they could, like whoever. They were actually rounding up suspects, and they were just going around grabbing young black teens.
Yeah, that's
just running around grabbing them up. Like if that doesn't say a witch hunt, I don't know what does. Like you didn't even have real suspects. You were just like black teen, New York City.
It was like 12. It was 11 and 12 years old. You know, so the other ones was Corey was 16. Yusuf was about I think 14.
Yeah,
but. I mean, they could at least just if they go. I mean, get an adult. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
And
that's
you knew what they was doing.
Man.
You knew what they was doing because they didn't contact their parents. They didn't get the information. They went around grabbing up teenagers. Could you imagine if you at work and they don't contact you to get any of your kids? They just grab them up and put them in the police station for 42 hours.
How can they live with themselves?
That's why I said the adults fail the children, and it's like how could anybody live with themselves? And I understand the prosecutor she's getting a lot of flack on social media and stuff like that.
They removed all her books and all that.
But when I first I first saw that, like how Yahoo sends you something.
Right. Like some news.
Yeah, and I first saw that, and I was like, okay, I didn't know the full story, and then somebody told me to go watch that series, and after watching it, I'm like, wait. To be honest with you, I'm like, why is she getting all this backlash? Not saying she doesn't deserve it, but as I watched the movie, what my eyes opened to was it was a jury trial. That means 12 adults convicted those 5 kids of these with that little bit of evidence. I'm not out here looking for revenge or anything like that, but if you're going to put all this blame onto her, what about the 12 men or women who sat on that trial, heard the lack of evidence, and still convicted those kids? How can they live with themselves?
I mean,
where are they at?
Well,
somebody needs to stick a microphone in their face and question them.
This was 1989.
I don't care when it was. It happened.
No, I'm just saying. 1989. I'm pretty sure that jury was handpicked.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, what you doing?
But guess what? So she picked herself to be to the forefront of that. So she should go down just like those 12 people should go down. 12 people convicted those young black males of doing something without any real evidence.
Well, see, the thing about that is, like, the jury, the jury, they just pretty much listen and they come up with an opinion.
Exactly.
Based off of evidence.
Based off of evidence.
Right. So
what evidence can
but that's their opinion. That's what they chose is their opinion.
What they chose is their opinion, which is cool.
Right.
In her opinion, they did this. Now she getting that backlash.
No. She should get jail time.
What about the 12 people?
Nah.
So all you hear is white jogger rape black kids. That's basically the evidence they brought to them.
Right.
That's basically the evidence.
But I'm just saying, just in general, because
they could have picked me and you. We could have been there. Literally in 1989, what was I? 3. They could have put me on trial and locked me up.
I was 4.
No, I was 2 going on 3 because it was in April. I wasn't 3 yet.
Yeah, so I was 3.
I was 2 going on. They could have been like, yo, I think this 3-year-old did it, and they'd have been like, how can the 3-year-old? You know what? He probably did. He's black, so that was the description.
Okay,
he was in the area. he had to have done it. There was literally no evidence. And then when they brought up the sock evidence, when they had the semen sample in the sock,
that pissed me off.
And then come to find out, the prosecution side tested it, didn't even tell the defense, and then they didn't even have any. So all this evidence was left by one person. What, they all experts? The other 5 were all experts? Because she was like, that means the 6th person did it.
Right, that was the dumbest. You could have.
Come on.
But hold on.
Just won't give up.
So now you said that about the jury, right?
Yeah.
But what about the statements that those kids made? Why did they say? Why would they? Now this is what I have a problem with. Nobody can't force me to say nothing that I don't agree with.
Well,
you have to. Let me tell you something. Hold on. Wait. You will have to kill me to say, Brahim, say you like boys. I'm not intimate. So they sit up there, they start saying, I mean, of course, they 11, 12, 13, you know, they little. But they not only agreed to, they made up a story. And that's what I didn't understand, because I could see if they say, yeah, I did that. I raped that lady, or I hit that lady. But they said, I walked down the street. I seen her. I grabbed her. Like, I was like, hold on, they drew the whole picture.
They drew 5 different pictures.
I know. And that was the thing. That was the thing that was like,
the discrepancies were rampant throughout that whole thing.
The way they explained their stories
sounded like they were fed to them.
Right. It really that Corey Wise said. He said, I never got in any trouble before. I did it. I raped her. And I won't do it again. The other guy said, he said something like, I didn't like stick my penis in.
I just held it out.
I was
doing it.
What? I was like,
yeah.
What is your, like, what?
Like I said, there's reason why, you know, there's certain ways you can even interrogate somebody, because psychologically you can break somebody.
And it showed. That showed.
You talking about they didn't have any food, any drink, and they were little boys.
Yeah.
They were little boys. So
right.
So that's what I contribute to them confessing, is the fact that, you know.
But even the one girl, I think it was Kevin, and his sister came up there. Was that Kevin? And she's still like, he be like, I want to go home. And she still signed off on it.
Yeah.
I was like, come on. Like, and she was of age.
Yeah, she definitely was of age.
Like, come on now. I'm not signing it. And I'm going to tell you to shut the hell up. I'm not signing it. You say you didn't do it, you just want to go home? Because he still didn't go home. Like, I mean, he left, but they came and brought him right back in. And it went all downhill from there.
Yeah, he was just like, please just sign the paper. I'm like,
I just want to go home.
I'm like, listen, if it was me, listen, I understand you're crying.
Yeah.
You don't understand the full scope of everything that's going on here.
Yeah.
That's why you shouldn't have been down here without an adult anyway.
Well, it goes back to say what we talked about that before. I think it was more so off air, but kids hang around the wrong people, being in the wrong place. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's nothing out here in these streets.
That definitely was the wrong place at the wrong time. And what's even sadder is the one kid that had, because you see all of them had either their dad, in the case about Raymond Santana, I mean, that was his grandma who went first, and then his dad showed up.
Right.
And then, but everybody either had one parent or something. The one kid that had both his parents, the dad, like I said, the dad broke.
They was the worst.
His dad broke. His dad, and it's sad that he only broke when he was separated from his wife. I remember they asked the wife to leave, and then they questioned Antron with his dad in there.
Right.
After they broke the dad, when the police came by himself.
The dad gave up.
The dad gave up quickly.
The dad.
Hold on. The dad gave up at that point there in the precinct, and then he gave up on the family after that.
Right. I just don't. I didn't understand. I don't understand.
Yeah, and it's the sad state of affairs is because, like we said, you know, we keep on talking about having a black man in the home changes everything, but we also say men. We not going to diss his dad or anything like that. But that's like
he ain't stand for nothing.
He didn't.
He just thought about his financial situation.
Yeah.
And granted,
finances are important.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you know, that's what people. A lawyer told me that before. Most people, only way they can affect you is your time, going to jail, and your money. You know, so, and you think about it. That's what they start talking about. But instead of him just looking at it like, oh, okay, well, this is my son's future.
This is my son's future.
He looking at it like right then and there.
This is my family's future. he risked his family's future.
And he had all the gold on, the wrist gold wristband, gold watch, rings, nice glasses. He was just worried about looking good, obviously.
And then he shows up during the trial after not being there for the whole first half of the trial. Shows up just to do his testimony, and then disappears again. Until he needed his family back, and it was like so. And that's why I get where Antron was coming from. He was like, I'm not gonna help him out because it was like he only coming back to us in this time of need. What about my biggest time of need? He was on trial fighting for his life.
Well, you know, that's the thing. Like when somebody do you wrong,
you gotta learn to forgive.
You know, but
yeah.
It's hard. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say.
I'm not gonna sit up here and lie.
I'm definitely not gonna lie.
I mean, I don't know my pop, so I wouldn't have been in that situation because he can't tell me nothing. But let's just say I was ever in that situation, and my dad was like, "Yo, just say this, just sign off on this, just say this." Hold on, we got our caller calling in at this time. Hey, what's going on, Devin?
Hello, Raheem, I'm here.
How's it going? We were just online talking. We were just bringing up the whole situation with When They See Us. For everybody out there listening, Devin was the one who put me on to When They See Us and had me watch it. And that's when I went to my partner Brahim and we watched it. So we were just breaking down some of the things that we saw in it and how we felt about it. And basically, when we started, we talked about the failure of all the adults in that situation to the kids and how they first and foremost, Antron's dad failed him before anything else, and Antron's dad was broken way before Antron was. So, you know, since you're the one who put me on to this, what are your thoughts about the whole situation, you know, the case, the people involved, and everything you saw with it?
Oh, man, Antron's dad pissed me off the most. Well, maybe, no, yeah, Antron's dad pissed me off the most because he's the one who told him to confess to something that he didn't do. All for his job. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Knowing damn well what the system does to black men.
And from the clues that we got from, you know, when a police officer talked to his dad by himself, he obviously been in the system before. So for him to have been in the system and to put his kid in that situation, that was just a sad thing to do, and it was completely wrong. And there's no job worse than family. No job in the world. I don't care if you're, you know, the head of Amazon. I'm not. I mean, that's a hell of a job. That's a hell of a job. But I'm not sacrificing my family for Amazon.
Right.
Like if we can't go up together, I'm not going to do it by myself. And that's basically what his dad ended up doing. He alienated himself from his son first. In that moment, then he alienated himself from his wife because he ended up doing a double. You remember? He was like, "Yeah, honey, I can't come home. I'm doing a double," and then went off and did whatever until he needed him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was.
It pissed me off also when he told him to confess to it, and he know he didn't. He had the nerve to get mad.
Yeah.
start throwing a tantrum. Like,
Yeah.
Even the other dad, Ray dad. He said he kind of did something similar. He said, "Man, hurry up with this. What y'all gonna do, man? I gotta get back to work."
Yeah, work can't.
Like, wait. I mean, this is your son. You know what I mean? This ain't no friend. This is your son.
He was not in detention.
Not in detention
He was not
at
in
all.
detention. He wasn't in the principal's office. Like, all right, come on, principal, give me that slip.
Right.
Give me that write-up slip, and let's keep it going. He was
Man.
in the precinct.
it kind of made me wonder if they knew like their rights. Cause you see how
Yeah.
was it Yusuf's mom that came and got him
Right.
and took him out of there? Like they could have did the same thing. Like did they know that they could do that?
Yeah, you're right about that. That's something I kind of noticed myself. Like, did they know their rights? Because Yusuf mom was like, oh, he didn't sign nothing. Come on, baby, come on, we going home.
How
We going
many
home.
people in the world know their rights?
Not a lot. Not a lot.
You know what I mean?
That's why
it's a lot of things
Yeah.
that we do, and you realize, oh, like you talk to the right person,
You talk to the right person,
and they be like, oh no, we can do that.
Yeah. Yep.
Come on. There's a lot of things that and I mean, one thing that I do know for sure, they can't talk to those kids without a parent being present.
And one thing I do know for
Damn,
sure,
Dorothy.
even if they could, I'm not leaving my son or daughter with nobody I don't know. I don't care if you're
Right.
a cop. I don't care if you're a lawyer. I don't care if I don't know you. You not getting access to my son or daughter by themselves, and I'm around, I'm alive in anywhere, shape, or form. I'm not doing it. Like they would have had to arrest me. If even if the laws were screwed up or something like that, they would have had to arrest me to keep me from my son in his time of need, his biggest time of need.
Yeah, so them kids was actually fighting the law and their
Public.
parents
And the public.
and the public. You know what I mean? Because
and Donald Trump.
and Donald Trump.
Which
Ooh. And I think it was it Raymond's dad, the one who let the stepmom just call him a rapist?
Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah. After he had got out of jail, he had linked back up with his dad,
Hey, what?
and they got into an argument. First of all, he was messing with too young of a girl anyway, but that's a whole nother story.
Right.
But they get into it, and you see the type of character she has. Obviously, I don't care how much I like a chick. Like, you're not gonna disrespect my son
She was not
In
only
his home.
disrespected, she was disrespecting the home.
in his home.
I mean, she had all the cousins,
Son is innocent.
and she knew it.
That would
She-
hurt me. That
Right.
would hurt me just as much as it would hurt him. Like, for somebody to call my son a rapist, knowing that he didn't do it, and knowing that I was powerless against it, that would hurt me more. There's no vagina worth that. Like, I don't care what
Yeah,
she
she
can do.
definitely. He should have put her out. Her and her 10 cousins.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That kind of hurt my feelings. Like, if she don't love your son, she don't love you. She ain't got no respect
Exactly,
for your son.
at all.
She definitely don't love you.
He should have put her on a bus right back to Mexico.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, this guy, he already pretty much showed that he put things before his son anyway, because that's why he mentioned about his job.
Yeah, that's why.
So if he mentioned about his job, a chick that's giving him a little piece, man, that come before his son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why
Because
not?
the severity of the situation obviously didn't weigh on him, because he was just like, come on, let's get out of here. It wasn't like, yo, tell my job, even if they're gonna fire me, fire me.
Right.
But I gotta handle this. My son ain't going to jail by himself. They said 42 hours without nothing to drink, nothing to eat.
I'm saying, yeah, 42 hours of me not eating, I ain't gonna lie to you. I might say yeah to anything. You know what I mean? I would say, man, listen, man.
I think when it like first started, like beginning like the interrogation, I think it was Raymond's dad who said like it's been 18 hours, can I get him something to eat? Like, if you don't pull him out of there,
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what I'd have did. Nah, I'd have snapped. Oh no, it would have been the case.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it would have been the case, but not for them. It would have been the case, because I would have tore that thing up in there.
Yeah, I'd have been a fugitive then. I'm like, all right, come on, we'd have walked out that precinct like like it was nothing.
But all those kids, man, like I was telling Raheem, Devin, I was saying that how those kids just came up with they know they didn't do it, and they still came up with a story as if they did it. That was amazing. Like, I could not believe that they came up with a great lie.
But at the same time, I think that shows you the manipulation of the police. Just as much as you can see that they screwed up.
Right.
The police manipulated that situation.
They did 100%.
I mean,
they knew what they was doing, and then they had the nerve to be putting their hands on some of them.
yeah.
Yeah, what's that? Wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Corey.
yeah, they
And
slept
he was
Corey.
just
And
he was just going and taking a ride.
He was the backstory of the whole thing, and then he became the forefront of it because they were just like, dang, how do we tie these kids together? Like, they really were sitting there contemplating evilly, like, what can we? They weren't even worried about Corey Wise at the time. Like, they didn't. But from what we saw in the movie, they didn't question him along the same lines as they questioned the other four.
I can tell you this.
When they were stuck, they were like, "Damn, we can't make these charges stick." Yo, you know we got somebody else in custody. Let's go get him and let's wrap these all together. That's what they did.
Because you said mom took him there, Corey didn't even tell him that his friend left.
Yeah, I was mad about that.
Yeah, they was in there playing.
That was Yusuf. Cause he just, that was his responsibility.
That was Yusuf's responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, I left court. I mean, I understand because, granted, he was just like away for 42 hours. They've been beating him down mentally. So a part of me gets it, but no, I see what you're saying. A part of me gets some lackadaisicalness on his part. But at some point before we left, I'd have been like, well, Mom, Raheem's still at the police station waiting on me. Now we gotta go back. And I would have walked back to the police station to come get you. Like, I would have left you there.
If he would have left, he wouldn't have had nothing to do with this story.
Nothing.
If he would have left, or if he wouldn't even went down there, because he only went down there to protect him.
Yeah, they took advantage of him because, and like Corey's defense, his mom didn't even know where he was at for like the longest.
His mom was selling. His mom was a drug dealer. You know what I mean? She had a homosexual son.
Transgender or something.
I don't know. Like, I don't want to get it confused.
Right.
But it was the boy, a girl. Like, I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she was like hardcore mom.
Yeah, she was.
You know what I mean?
She was selling that.
Mom, I don't know, but she changed her life at the end. She became a Christian.
Yeah, but with all that work she was selling, how come she couldn't bail him out?
You know, man, these back in the day, man, they was hustling backwards, man.
What you doing, selling the money?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Because he was in an adult prison, his might have been higher than everybody else.
Yeah, because they
sent him up to Rikers.
Yeah, because they said not guilty. They said not guilty for second degree, not guilty for second degree, and for first degree, it was all guilty. So the lesser charges, they gave him all bigger charges.
Yeah.
Now let me ask y'all this question: they got paid, so they pretty much all five of them split down 41 million.
Yeah.
They said Corey got the most, which was 13 million. Is that enough?
Hell no. Hell no. No, hell no. Hell no.
13 million. They gave him $1 million a year.
Basically.
Right.
But
I think they asked for like 350 something million.
they should have gave him 350 something million. That's what they should have gave him. Whatever they asked for, they should have gave it to him.
Well, Corey.
All of them.
I ain't gonna lie.
All of them.
I ain't gonna lie. 6 million. I could do 6 years for 6 million.
But
I don't care what you say. I did.
But can you go through the
no, not Corey. I don't want the 13. I don't want the 13 million. I want the 6 million with everybody else.
They never said what Yusuf and Kevin.
They pretty much gave everybody $1 million.
No. I'm saying they never said what they went through while they were in juvie. They just there might be some backstories we don't know about.
Right. Well,
so at the end of the day,
from the movie, that's what I'm gonna go off of. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a book or some type of something published.
But I'm asking you, and I'm asking you too, Devin. Forget about their situation. Could you go to jail for? How many years you say?
I do the 6 million.
Could you do 6 years in jail?
They did 4 to 6. Corey did like 13.
Could you do jail time in any jail in America? Could you do jail time and come out and get that 6 million and be okay with it?
Bruh, I work 5 jobs.
Yeah, she said no. She said no.
That's her. I work 5 jobs and I still ain't gonna see $1 million in 1 year.
You're absolutely right.
Me, you, and everybody that and her. We ain't gonna see $1 million. $1 million?
But
bruh, I'm doing it.
I'm not.
Say I raped her. Whatever.
No.
Say it.
No,
I
no.
don't care.
And you gotta be a sex offender too.
That's fine. $6 million. I'm good.
I don't care. Nobody say orange is not the new black.
No, I do not want them stripes, dog. I don't want them stripes.
Hold on. Only reason why you
Sex
saying
offender.
that. Only reason why you saying something about a sex offender is because you thinking about a job.
No, I'm thinking about I don't want to be labeled as a sex offender.
Bruh, see, I'm gonna be good.
I'm not okay with
good.
I'm not okay with being labeled as a sex offender.
$6 million. I'm gonna figure out how to get it. $6 million. I'm gonna do some things with.
You can call me a thief. You can call me a liar. You can call me a murderer.
You call me anything.
You can't call me a sex. That's where I draw the line.
Well, yeah,
You can't call me a sex
you gotta
offender.
think about it. You gotta think about it also. Like, if you just go in for like a non-violent crime, it might not be, what they do to like sex offenders.
Yes.
Like,
Whoa.
they,
Y'all didn't hear me. I don't care. Like, I mean,
I'm
listen,
cool. I'm cool.
Listen, I'm going in there and I'm coming out of there. That's 100% fact.
Maybe.
Coming out of, I'm winning there as a man, I'm coming out as one. You best believe that.
You come out the same man.
Yeah, no, I will be. Because guess what? If they did something to me, I'm going to be dead.
Okay.
Then that
If they
means
did
you're not
some-
coming out. That means you're not getting that situation.
Hey, well, I guess get rich and die trying. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? What you want me to say? At least I try. Listen, bruh, I'm not getting $1 million in a year.
Right.
Bruh, I'm sitting there up here tallying my numbers. Bruh, we don't even see 100,000. You talking about $1 million?
Yeah.
Bruh, man, it take a lifetime to get $1 million. A lifetime.
And the funny thing about this, the reason I'm laughing, he went to work this morning. I called him. He was at work. I came over his crib. I had to wait for him because he went to this other job.
Work.
And he like, no,
Bruh.
we ain't got to worry about doing
What?
this.
You
is actually
say, all you going to say is I'm a rapist? Listen, man, that's it? Bro, you can add some more stuff to that. You can say I'm a rapist. You can say I'm a murderer. You can say all that. Give me my check. Give me my check, man. $6 million. And then guess what? I bet you any amount of money, you ain't going to look at me no different. That's $6 million. I'm like, Rob.
I'm not because I already know you.
Right,
so.
right. Whoever else Devin don't know me, but I bet you if I say, bring some people to my mansion and my swimming pool,
Devin, are you going?
I'm definitely gonna go.
About to say,
knowing that I'm a rapist,
hold on.
knowing that I'm a rapist,
Even though he's a convicted rapist.
she don't care. R. Kelly,
I wouldn't say because I know he's not.
R. Kelly,
Oh.
R. Kelly.
Anyway.
They know. Everybody know about R. Kelly. I mean, I don't want to turn that story,
Yeah.
but everybody know.
Yeah.
It's all about the fame and that money.
Yeah.
That opportunity.
But
they all know.
But does that money really
You
erase?
also gotta think about it. Like these was kids. Like you grown, you can hold your own. These was kids.
Yeah, they was kids.
If I was Corey, he told him at the end. He said, man, while he was doing his push-ups, he said, listen. He said, you can go ahead and tell the parole board they don't want to hear the truth, then I ain't going out of there.
Right.
He said, all right,
Yeah.
go on. He said, you go ahead, I'm going to max out.
Yeah.
Now, as a he done
became a man at that
Now,
point.
mind you, he done been beat up, raped. And of course, he didn't know that he was getting that money. He didn't know that boy was going tell on himself. He didn't know. He ain't know none of that. Listen, I seen the story. I want my 6 M's, and I'm doing it.
That was another reason. They manipulated him also because they knew he couldn't read
Yeah.
that well.
Had him on the stand looking terrible. Like,
That boy played the hell out of that part, man.
Yeah,
He played that. When he said,
I just want to go home.
no, he like, I never did nothing bad. And so what I'm trying to say is, it won't happen again. I raped her.
He was like, yeah, this is the first time I ever did something that extreme.
Right.
You know, he was like, my first.
And I won't do it again.
And I ain't gonna do it again.
I was like, yo, he played that part so good. I really think he is retarded. Like, I think he's slow. Like, he played. Listen, that boy need an award, man.
So
that boy need an award, man. He played the hell out of that part, man.
You got so excited over that Tia Fat ball.
Yeah, he definitely did.
I
Like,
started tearing up a little bit.
but as I was saying before you got on, Devin, I was saying that all the adults in this situation failed those kids. And what I was saying,
Absolutely.
when you said that lady was getting she was getting dragged on Twitter and Instagram and all that, I said that's cool, but it was a jury trial. So 12 other adults, even like you said, they were handpicked.
Yeah,
12 other adults heard that evidence, and they were so thirsty for blood they didn't care. That
See, but
nothing
that's the
made
thing.
sense.
I didn't agree with you on that one because at the end of the day, a jury decide their decision based off of what you saying to me.
Mm-hmm.
Based off of that, I come up with a decision. Now, when all 12 of us go in that back room, some of us might say no. Some of us might say yeah. But then we come together and then you kind of like change my mind.
How can you get your mind changed?
Well, I'm just saying it might make you look at it totally different. I'm saying I don't blame the jury. I don't blame the jury.
I blame the jury wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I don't blame
when it comes to those trials, it's not a preponderance of evidence. It's beyond a reasonable doubt. You mean to tell me there was a reasonable doubt that they did it?
Listen.
And wasn't it like 2 separate trials, or was it like?
Yeah, it was 2. So you mean 2 separate? So 24 individuals can come up with the exact same thing. When the 2 kids, there's a reason they separated it. Mm-hmm. It was all politics. It was like we can't do 5 trials because they would figure somebody would get off.
Too strong, right. But my thing is,
so why couldn't you do 5 trials? There were 5 individuals before the trial.
Why Yusuf still do time after all what his mom did and all that? He still did time
because 12 individuals said guilty.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason they did time. The link between them being guilty, the link between them going to jail and being free, regardless of the prosecutor, regardless of anything else, were the 12 individuals that said guilty.
Well, I'm just saying, like you feel like that they equally responsible, just like the prosecutor. No,
yes,
no.
Their lives.
The prosecutor, listen, the prosecutor built that. The prosecutor put that thought in everybody's head. The jury just get a letter in the mail and just sit right in
so
the
let me
chair.
ask you a question.
Hear a story.
If they
say yay or nay.
Do you think those 12? Go ahead.
But all of the evidence, or should I say lack of evidence, that they had, I wouldn't have been able to vote for them as guilty. They didn't have none of the firms matched up to any of them.
But the thing about it,
they had a different story. They didn't even mark themselves in the right place.
See, the thing about it was the prosecutor, what she was pushing on was the statements that they wrote.
That's it. That's all she had.
And that was good enough in that particular case.
But guess what? That's the problem. None of the jury members, like when they said that Kevin Richardson got scratched by her, if you look underneath her fingernails and got DNA, which they got DNA from the guy Mayes.
Yeah, right.
They got DNA from him under her fingernails. How come there wasn't Kevin Richardson's DNA under her fingernails? Like, nobody brought this up. Like, when you're sitting in that jury box when somebody changes your mind, they're bringing up things to change your mind. What are you bringing up to change their mind? Like, hey guys, how come?
I get that she going off of like written statements, but at the same time, all of their stories change over and over, and you can kind of even see on the videotape they look like they being coerced. Like on Corey Wise tape, he keeps looking to like the side of the camera as if like, am I doing okay? Like he don't even look like he know what he did.
That is 100%. The justice system failed.
Which means the 12 people that were part of that failed.
They not part of the justice system.
They were a part of that justice
They're not
system
part of the justice
by being on the jury.
The prosecutors and all of the detectives.
You get a letter in the mail, but they also interview you.
Oh, I ain't getting no interview.
They also interview you.
I ain't never getting no interview.
When you go on those trials, they're going to interview you. And they're going to interview you.
Okay.
So you can tell me you don't, because remember, part of the reason that like they tried to explain away the blood evidence because when they brought up the exhibit and they showed her shirt and she was like, they were like, do you remember this? They asked the lady who was, I can't remember her name. It was like, do you know what this is? It was like, yeah, that's my shirt. I wore the morning of jogging.
Oh, you talking about the jogging lady? I forgot her name too.
I wore that the morning I'm jogging, and she was like, what color was this? She was like, it was white. And then the defense was like, how come there was no blood on any of the kids? And it was like, oh, the reason there was no blood on them because she was bleeding out of her head. So you mean to tell me she was bleeding out of her head, the blood gets on her shirt to change it a different color, but it'll go nowhere else on other kids?
Now you see how you saying how y'all breaking all this down. Remember, one prosecutor and a bunch of detectives went up against 5 lawyers that went to school.
Yeah.
How come they couldn't make these good points that we talking about?
I don't know. We don't know the full extent of the trial, but at the same time,
well, the judge, hold on, the dude, that main lawyer did say at the beginning. He said this judge buried everybody. So like pretty much, it's a long shot with this one.
Yeah, but it only gets to the judge for the sentencing. That's the only thing. The judge there is to maintain order and do the sentencing. But that's based off of if all the jury said not guilty, he'd have been stuck.
Right. Well,
and then on top of that, there was blood on. They tested the guy's clothes after the fact, the one that confessed, and there was blood from her on him. Mm-hmm. There were no track mark. It was supposed to be 5 track marks.
His DNA,
everything.
All that stuff.
It was a slam dunk case in the other direction that they were all not guilty.
And she still said they held it down. Like
that's
just
Eli, let's go off the fact, like you say, like, oh, she was bleeding from her head, and that's why ain't there no mud on them, or like,
yeah, that's what they said, no mud, no mud,
nothing. And then what makes matters worse is the simple fact that, like I said, there were no track marks any direction of 5 footprints. It's supposed to be 5 sets of footprints. No, I'm sorry, there were supposed to be 6 sets of footprints. Mm-hmm. You couldn't find any of these things?
No.
See, and this will go back to say when we was talking about as a black man how hard we gotta work extra hard, like with everything. So it's, man, if you work at a job, you can't just go there, be there. Your start time at 6. You get there at 6. We gotta get there 5:45. We gotta stay late because it's just that's how it's designed.
Yeah.
And I mean, I hate to say it because I don't like to use the black and white card, but that's what that movie was. It was only because they was colored kids.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why. If they was white kids, we see all the time the outcome of white kids. And if it's white people that's listening to this podcast right now and they disagree with what I'm saying, they are 100% part of the problem. And they need to check their own self and see if they racist.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they might be. They are racist.
Yeah. Matter of
fact, if they feel like what I'm saying is wrong.
Yeah. The problem. Let's be clear. The problem is not white people. Racist
Hold on. One more.
Racist white. Oh, go ahead.
Right. I live in a community mainly full of black people. How did I still experience racism? For me to go out of my neighborhood, like, cause most of the time I spend more in my neighborhood in Philadelphia. I don't see white people like that. Why is it that we experience racism like as if we was in the 1960s? We thought that stuff was over. I thought it was, right?
No.
And now that movie was is big. That happened in 1989.
Which was a while ago, but it wasn't that long.
That wasn't that long ago.
That long ago.
Now
it was in our lifetime.
Now that goes back to say, now you see what happened to those boys. Look what happened to Meek Mills. Look what happened to Colin Kaepernick. I mean, now you see how hard we gotta fight just to stay afloat.
Yeah.
And like I said,
Trump was trying to like push the death penalty like on children.
That's what got me. That's what got me. The fact that
Children.
he sees these. He didn't ask for. You know how much crime takes place in New York. You know how many big time crime cases happened before April of 1989 that happened in New York? Has Trump ever put out an ad in the paper for any of those?
come on, man.
It had to be when 5 black kids.
I didn't know.
All I'm gonna say is, for Trump to become president, it took more than his own kind to do so.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
he definitely got the women vote, the
You know what
black
I mean?
vote, and the Latino vote.
And he came at. See, my thing is with like when we talk about Donald Trump, like when since you said his name, when I don't know if I don't know where he don't like just a lot of people because he talk about whites, he talk about blacks, of course, he talk Mexicans, he talk about women, he talk about underage women. He don't care. He just that's the type of guy he is. So when people say he a racist, I don't know. I think he just don't like a lot of people. I think if you don't have money on his level, he don't like you. Maybe that's what it is.
And what makes matters worse than that, they still maintain him and the prosecutor still maintain their
He the president.
even after all the evidence going against them, they still maintain. Well, them kids said they did it. That's all. The same thing they're saying back in '89. The jury, the same thing the jury had to go off is the same thing they're saying now. That's all they have is the fact that they said it. That's all they got.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Exactly, that they said it. You're not old enough to be making those decisions, so they just want you to go home. You in a room with all these white men telling you can go home if you say this or you say they don't know.
But now,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
listen.
No, just say it. Go ahead.
Okay, it's just like growing up. How many black teachers you had? I ain't had many. My teachers was white. Look around in your neighborhood. How many white people in your neighborhood? So why is white people educating black people? So now if that's the case, if white people educating black people, what the hell is black people doing? And now that white people is educating black people because it's their job,
What are they teaching?
what are they teaching?
True.
And it start from at that point in time, so when they get in situations like that, what we seen in those movies, they can make the right decision. I always got a problem with white police in my neighborhood. You don't know how to communicate with the people. So how do they should hire people that's from their neighborhood. Wouldn't that keep murders down? If you know that's Ray Ray that get high all the time, you know not to draw your gun. You just know to take Ray Ray over here if you from the neighborhood.
That causes a problem because then you got the corruption.
That's why you got beef from. That's why you got beef from the neighborhood.
Corruption can happen.
If you from the neighborhood, you handle it. It would never happen. What happened with Eric Gardner getting choked for selling cigarettes?
Yeah, that
if you from the neighborhood,
that may not happen, but corruption is definitely bound to happen.
Yeah, but you deal with it accordingly. You know what I mean? You deal with it as it comes.
But that's
you
what
don't
to nip it in the bud. So because
nip it in the bud by killing somebody?
No, nipping corruption in the bud. Like you already know that it's going to be corrupt. You know there's going to be corruption. So why would you knowingly walk into that? You don't expect. Excuse me, it happens. You don't expect your cops to kill innocent people.
I do.
I'm talking about the police force itself.
Right. Well, it is. I mean, the thing about it is, it been the same way. We could go back as far as Rodney King.
Yeah.
And that was just the first one that we caught on tape.
Yeah.
And think about before these phones had cameras, before people was taking videos, they would have got off, and they got off.
Yeah.
Come on, man, this stuff always been happening, man. Yeah. People not looking at like the bigger picture. Why are we not getting the right people in the schools? Why is it that every black person want to be an entertainer? If y'all want to talk about something, let's talk about that. Why every black person think, why every kid growing up, why they think that they can't be an engineer compared to trying to be like LeBron? There's nothing wrong with being like LeBron, but we do need engineers.
Yeah.
Why is it? Why is it that there's no teachers? Why is it that there's no police officers? Mainly they all white, or mainly
that's a whole other discussion.
I know, but it just doesn't. If it was a black police officer that was in that situation in that movie, and he was looking at him like, no, why you like pretty much like why you doing that? But if it was more black people in there, it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. Go ahead, Devin.
That's what kind of made me mad. Like when he first was like in there, it was like the black officer that let that shit happen.
And I think he was a sergeant because he had stripes on his collar. So I think he was a sergeant.
Yeah. And then like when he got transferred, it was another black officer. Like the nicest one to him was Robert, the white one that bought him like the chia pet and all that. Kind of like made me sad a little bit.
Yeah, that was a bad look because I don't know what that guy. He was kind of light skinned. The first guy that was like, let me know when you can do something for me.
He was black. He's black.
Yeah,
he's black.
And it was like, he did him dirty, and then the other guy did him dirty. He was like, once I found out one of the famed people from the Central Park 5 was coming in here, had a little welcome party ready for you.
Like, oh my God.
You talking about grown men having pleasure in beating up a little boy?
Come on, man. He's a punk. He's a punk.
Like that's.
That's why I was telling Raheem the other day, like Corey. Like, don't get me wrong. The rest of them, I'm not taking from their story. They've been through some shit too. But Corey, I felt like is like a walking, talking miracle. Like he's like. Because everything he's been through, every time I see him in interviews, he's always smiling. I feel like my spirit would have been defeated.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah, I mean, the boy was raped, stabbed, beat up. I mean, just everything. When he was in, I ain't gonna lie, you put me in the hole for that long. Oh, man, I'm banging my head up against the wall. I know I would have been done. I ain't gonna hold you.
There wasn't no air or nothing.
No air. He just tried to lay on the floor.
And that's the crazy part about it. Like, this Central Park 5, like I said, I'm not taking from their story. They all been through something. But without Corey, I feel like they would have never been exonerated either.
No, that's true. Because Corey fought the guy and everything.
He did it. Yeah, he felt bad for him. Like, I don't feel like he would have ever came forward if he didn't meet Corey.
Yeah, Corey was dragged through the ringer, and him being dragged through the ringer like that, it caused the rest of them to get off. Because remember, he put in for the transfer, and Roberts was like, you don't want to do that because they could send you closer to your mom. They could send you farther away from your mom. He was like, I'm going to take that chance. He took the chance, and that's where he had the lucky meetup with the guy who actually did it. Right. And he was like, yo, you Corey, right? And he was like, keep your head up. You doing real good.
Yeah, that guy crazy. Because I know if I'd have did it, I ain't telling.
I got so many questions too. Like, what was he doing now? Just watching TV? Like, did he have a job in there? Like, why is he just the only one out watching TV?
Yeah, I don't know. It was maybe how they really met.
You talking really about Corey?
No, Corey. How he met the guy that confessed.
What?
They was arguing over the TV.
Remember, Corey?
I think that other guy was cleaning. I think.
No, he was just sitting watching TV. Corey was cleaning.
Oh, Corey was cleaning. He just got that job. He got that job
because he said he's deaf. So he turned the TV all the way up.
Yeah, that's because of the beatdowns. That's the beatdowns. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's because of them.
But before we let you go, Devin, do you have any final thoughts on the whole situation with the Central Park 5 and the movie? The prosecutors or anybody else involved in the whole situation?
I want to know if what's her name, Linda Fairstein. However you say her name. Is she gonna have some type of repercussions? What's going to happen? I don't feel like they got enough money. I feel like you stole a big part of, like, Corey had a little girlfriend and everything. Like, you can't get none of that back. Like, so it's a lot I need to know.
Well, like for her, like they probably can't do nothing to her legally, like as in getting jail time. But I would rest assured she will pay.
Yeah, we can only hope so.
Yeah.
Well, it's been good talking to you, Devin. We're gonna talk to you again because you said you wanted to have your own little thing you want to talk about again. So, but we really appreciate you calling in.
Yes.
And whenever you can again, give us a call. Thanks a lot.
All right.
All right, folks. Now we're back. I kind of agree with her. What she said, like, he mind you, he was in the chicken place at the time. You know, flirting with his girlfriend at the time,
Right.
and you can't get that back. Like you can.
That girl gone. She
Gone.
pregnant.
She's somebody else's girl.
And it ain't, man, like that, you know. But that's how it go, man. You just gotta just put yourself in the right place. Just try to live your life right. Just be confident in yourself and in the knowledge that you being taught. Stop thinking everybody your friend. And even when your parents try to make you choose something, lie like they did on the movie, you don't have to go with that.
Yeah, even when they showed the movie, they showed a part where Corey was thinking things through, like if he had done things on his own that day.
Right.
When Yusuf had banged on the door, on the glass, and was like, "Come on, we going to the park," and his girlfriend wanted him to stay,
and he actually
and
stayed.
like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm chilling with her." How his life would have been at that point. I mean, but that's what life is. Life is a bunch of circumstances that we pick.
Yeah, because I do the same thing. Like, damn, what if I?
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? What if I didn't do
Oh,
this?
yeah. What if I?
I mean, I see a lot of that. You know?
I ain't gonna lie.
But then think about it like this.
That's how.
What if I didn't? That's what I was about to say. What if I didn't do it? I wouldn't be who I am.
Some things I think I could do without.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Some things that we definitely could do without.
Yeah. So, but the Central Park 5 case, when I first brought it to you, you was kind of like, yeah, I already know what this is about. It happens all the time.
Yeah, it just and the thing about it is, it's just like so many stories that we could talk about. We could talk about them things just like that. But of course, this situation was totally different because it was not only 5 of them. They underage, and they didn't do it.
They didn't do it, and they were. The media wanted somebody to go down for this so bad. That's really what it all boils down to. Everybody wanted somebody to go down for this. Like, somebody gotta go. Somebody, a white female was raped in the park.
Yeah.
Somebody gotta go down for this, and it didn't matter who it was. And like I said, even now, even after they found the guy who actually did it, he confessed. Everything matched up. You still got Donald Trump, and you still got Linda Fairstein. Like, yeah, but he was just one, and there was the other 5. So where is the evidence at? Where is the evidence that supports any of this?
Right.
And as soon as you say that, they go back to, oh well, they confessed. I agree with you. We can move past the fact of that. I can look at if they were standing in front of me, I can look either one of them in the eye and say I agree with you. They did confess. There's no denying that. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Where is the evidence that supports that confession? There's evidence that supports the confession of the guy who did it.
Right.
Where's the evidence that supports their confession? And guess what they're going to say? Nothing. Or they're going to go back to, well, they confessed, so there's nothing I can do about it. That is something you can do about it. You could be a little bit more sympathetic to what they had to go through. You didn't have to go through that. Your kids didn't have to go through that. And I think, like I said, the adults fail the children on so many levels, and we can't have that. So, folks, this is another episode of No Holy Thoughts.
Yes.
Ron Bra, we talk passionately about this because this is something. This is something that we can't allow to keep on.
But you don't like me saying that?
Where's this champ stuff come from, man?
You know why I call it. Them boys used to call me champ at that job.
Folks, thanks for tuning in to us again.
That's my username, too, on everything.
We're going to come back.
You're a hater.
Again, with more topics. As you saw, Devin called in. Thanks again, Devin. We appreciate you.
I ain't got no hair.
I hope other people call in as well.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking for a new co-host. You know, so send in your resumes. This is No Home Thoughts Podcast. Ron Brown, we signing out.
We out of here.
You go to the chant nonsense, man. Like,
Chant.
you still doing this?
Man, I'm undefeated.
Undefeated at what?
I don't know. I could be undefeated.